True ancient love in all of us met. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for
Welcome to Curry Field on this beautiful Tuesday evening, about 18 degrees Celsius at the time of first pitch. I'm Bruce Olson, joined by Mitch McDonald. Mitch, what are you looking for tonight?
This should be a premier matchup here. You know, if you're a paying customer, you're looking at the Anderson on the mound and then Carter Beck for Saskatoon. That'll be about as premier matchup as you'll find in this league.
Yeah, I agree. Carter Beck on an absolute tear this year. Of course, the Saskatoon Berries at 17-3 with 0 games back. They lead the East Division. They have 2 wins, back-to-back wins off of Energy City was their last 2, and they're 9-1 in their last 10. Meanwhile, the rival Regina Red Sox are 11-8. They are 5.5 games back. Their last 2 games have been wins off of Sylvan Lake in a doubleheader, and they are 5-5 in their last 10. Starting on the mound for the Regina Red Sox is Colton Anderson. And leading off for the Saskatoon Berries is Carter Beck.
The fans are going to get their money worth right off the bat.
I agree. This is a rivalry game, a very full house here at Curry Field. Of course, the Saskatoon Berries, a very new team up the highway from the Regina Red Sox. But they're already kindling a rivalry as the proximity leads to some very good games.
Yeah, and there'll be the old Western Hockey League rivalry there as well. Similar to Regina Moose Jaw, that rivalry is kind of already built in.
So, Mitch, what do the Saskatoon Berries have to do to start off early?
You know, ideally, if you're thinking about this from the Saskatoon perspective, as a lineup, you want to kind of extend the pitches that Anderson is throwing per inning. Your goal should be to get into the Red Sox bullpen by the 5th inning, and you want to make sure that Anderson is throwing upwards of the 20 pitches per inning kind of thing. If you're doing that, you're going to kind of shorten the life in terms of the start that Anderson's able to go, and then ideally you're probably scraping across a couple runs there.
Well, here comes Carter back to the plate. Here's the first pitch. And that'll be inside for a strike. Carter Beck from Saskatchewan, from Carnduff, plays at Indiana State University. And this is absolutely hammered into right field. And a diving catch attempt is not there from Jackson Searing. And he's frustrated about that. But Carter Beck will reach base on his first hit of the evening.
Yeah, great effort. You know, bat kind of goes down a hero for Carter Beck there. Broken bat, single deposited into right field. Great effort. Sometimes that's just baseball.
Yeah, Beck breaking the bat on his chop into right field. Just fell short and in between the center field and right fielder. Jackson Searing making a diving play on the ball, just could not get there. He looks to be in a little bit of pain as well. Here's the pitch. And that'll be another strike from Anderson. Beck leading off first. And here's the pitch. Low and outside for ball 1. Here's the pitch. A big swing and a miss.
So now here's our first look a little bit at the chess match that Anderson wants to go about on the mound. We'll see what his approach is here with 2 strikes.
Check to first, and Beck is in between 2 men. And he will be tagged for the out. Much to the delight of the crowd here at Curry Field. You think he could have gotten back to the base there.
It almost kind of looked like there's a double hesitation. I'm not sure if he thought maybe he'd waited Anderson there. But obviously, if you're the Red Sox and Anderson, you kind of help yourself a bit there.
There is the pitch from Anderson. That'll be another ball. But yeah, that play from Beck, I'm sure that's not what he wanted.
No, and I mean, a lot of times with a left-handed pitcher, you're taught to go on first movement because the left-handed pitcher has that advantage holding a runner. And so runners will call it going in the pitcher's face because the pitcher will be staring right at you and you're running right in his face kind of thing. So as a base runner, that'll happen sometimes.
Here's the pitch from Anderson. Big swing and a miss. And he strikes out his first batter.
So now you kind of turn not exactly a ideal start in terms of the leadoff hitter being on, and now you're in business if you're Anderson.
Coming to the plate is number 31, Abia Medina. And that'll be a ball on Anderson's first pitch. Medina playing at Texas A&M International. Pitch from Anderson gets Medina swinging, and that brings the count to 1-1 with 2 outs. Now, if you're Anderson, how do you close this inning out?
Well, the biggest thing is you want to stay in attack mode, right? You have 2 outs. You have a lefty-lefty matchup, typically a harder matchup for the left-handed hitter. And Anderson has the velocity to kind of turn this into a guessing game a bit as a hitter. So the biggest thing is you want to stay in attack mode and kind of ensure that you're 1 step ahead.
After that foul ball, there's 2 strikes on the board. Here's the pitch. And that'll be low and outside for ball 2. Here's the pitch. And that'll be too high. And it'll be ball 3. So a full count here with 2 outs.
And so as strange as it would sound, you kind of more want to give up a base hit than a walk.
And there is that base hit. At the pitch from short to first is just a little bit off target. And Medina will reach first base.
Tough play coming across the diamond there for Fox. Maybe a little bit of unfamiliarity with the runner. Tried to split his feet there and make a throw on the run. Wasn't able to. He goes for a base hit.
Fox, an athletic shortstop, just could not make that play there. And
Yeah.
Medina will reach first. Here's the pitch. And that'll be a ball. This is Ethan Murdoch from Swift Current, Saskatchewan. He's a senior at Marshall University.
And so we kind of backtrack there on Medina with the full count. At least that contact kind of shows you a little bit about Medina's swing. Whereas if it's a walk, you can't really gauge anything for the next matchup.
A high pop fly there goes just into the crowd off of the bat of Ethan Murdoch. It'll be a 1-1 count now as Anderson comes back to the mound. Takes a look at first base. Checks it back, not in time. And he'll step back onto the mound. Throwing it to first again is Anderson. Medina gets back. The throw's not in time. He'll come back to the mound. There's the pitch. It'll be a high ball. Anderson really checking Medina at first base. Medina is a threat to steal. He's very fast.
Yeah, so the biggest thing here is you want to make sure that he has to work for it. Right, even though there's 2 outs, you don't want to forget about him. Allow him to get in scoring position kind of without making him work for it. If he works for it and he ends up stealing a bag, then you kind of tip your hat.
Here's the pitch from Anderson. And that'll be fouled off again. And that'll bring us to a full count with 2 outs again. So this is the second batter in a row that's had a full count. Medina, of course, reaching first base on the hit. Here's the pitch. Fouled off again into the Red Sox parking lot. The count remains 3-2. And Anderson trying to close out this inning.
Yeah, it's good at bat bait here by Murdoch here.
Here's the pitch. It'll be a short ball and it'll be called foul. Excuse me, no, it won't. It was a safe ball, and it was a great throw to first for the out. And that'll close out the first inning. The Regina Red Sox play good defense, and the score is still 0-0. Welcome back to Curry Field. Mitch, what did you see in that last inning?
I'm a little bit kind of probably what Anderson wanted to do there once he settled in getting Beck in the rundown. And then, Saskatoon was able to have a couple at bats with some deeper pitch counts. So, you're not going to score every inning, and not every inning is going to be 1, 2, 3. So both teams could probably take a little bit from that inning.
Anderson only letting up 1 hit in that last inning. We are not sure if the hit into right field was counted as a hit or an error.
Yeah, I believe it's base hit. It's tough to charge anyone an error on a max effort dive like that.
So we'll give 2 hits against Anderson. And here comes Jordan Tucker to the plate. The first-year Red Sox. A sophomore at Rogers State from Detroit Lakes, Michigan. Tucker's been very solid at center field for the Red Sox all year.
Here's the pitch. And he hammers this one into deep left field. And that one is gone. Leadoff home run for Jordan Tucker.
You don't see that every day. One pitch.
Well, you can't do much better than that there for Jordan Tucker. An absolute rocket into deep left field. That one was unfieldable. And just like that, the Regina Red Sox will go up 1-0 off the leadoff home run. And now here comes Jaden Kalura, the catcher, to try and build off of what Jordan Tucker just did at the top of the order.
Yeah, now it's almost like you're starting the inning all over again.
Outside ball is the first pitch. And that'll be a strike on the second pitch. Here's the pitch, and it'll be fouled off into the left side parking lot. Kalura, the first-year Red Sox. Here's the pitch. And that'll be another foul into the left side. So if you're the Saskatoon Bears, how do you recover from that leadoff home run?
Yeah, you just kind of reset, say to yourself, it's probably not going to be a 1-0 game. And so now you just attack this like this is the start of the inning, so to speak.
Here's the pitch. And that'll be another ball. Just escaping the edge of the strike zone there at the bottom. It'll be a 2-2 count for Kalura. Here's a high fly into left field. This one's fieldable and will be played for an easy out. So the Red Sox have one out on the board, and now here comes Jackson Searing. Jalen Freeman making the catch in left field. A leadoff ball to start for Jackson Searing. And there's a strike to even the count to 1-1. Here's the pitch. And that'll be hit into center field. This one's going pretty far. And it will fall. A hard play on the ball, looking into the sun, trying to find the ball, and Searing will make it to second on the double.
And it would appear, that these Red Sox hitters have got a good handle.
Yeah, the Sox hitting well, and Searing looks like he's in some pain, and he's going to come off. Of course, we saw him in some discomfort after he made the diving effort in the first inning, and he's not going to be able to finish here. So the Sox will need to bring in a pinch runner.
I hate to see that from anyone, but obviously a player that has an important role for this team in Jackson Searing.
Yeah, you never like to see that for anyone on any team. Injuries, although they are part of the game, are never good. Now to the plate comes number 44, Jalen Seward. And that'll be a ball to start things off.
And I believe that's Matt Melanson stepping in there at second base for Searing.
Here's the pitch. And that'll be hit solidly as well, going into center field. It'll be far, but it'll be playable, and it will be played. And the pinch runner will make it to third.
Another good piece of hitting there. Searing put a charge into that. Biggest part of the ballpark here at Curry Field. It's a lot deeper than you would think.
A strike to start things off here for number 19, Riley Bender.
And another strike.
And there's a ball on Bender. Bender has a runner in scoring position. If he can be hitting how the rest of the Red Sox have been hitting so far, he can bring that runner home.
Yeah, and a 2-out RBI is worth its weight in gold.
There's another fly into center field, and that'll be fielded easily. And the Saskatoon Bears will close out this inning, limiting the damage to 1 run. We'll take a break. We'll come right back.
And welcome back to Curry Field here. The top half of the second is about to begin. And I'm going to say it just for a second time here. Those of you listening out there, I hope you can appreciate how much I'm enjoying this weather, because Regina just came off a nasty 4-day stretch of weather.
Yeah, that we did. Lots of rain. But a beautiful day here at Curry Field. 18 degrees at the time of first pitch. And now the Red Sox will come back on defense after a solid outing from Colton Anderson and his defense.
And so now, as the Red Sox, the biggest thing you want to do is after you score runs is immediately put up a 0. Don't allow Saskatoon to kind of counter-punch back on you. You want to build momentum by placing those zeros after you've scored.
So the Bears will bring in Nathan Houston here to lead them off in the second inning. A swinging strike to start things off. And Anderson will step back on the mound. And here's the pitch. A hit right to the shortstop. It'll bounce off the ground. That'll be an easy out for Matthew Fox, an extremely athletic player at the shortstop position.
Yeah, and you can kind of see it all within that play. The smooth feet, quick transition, strong arm on the run.
Swing and a miss on the first pitch for number 8, Balin Sorensen, the catcher. And there's another strike and another swing and a miss.
Yeah, it's a great pitch there. Just had the change of the kind of disappears behind the plate.
Here's a hit to the third baseman, Riley Bennett. He'll make a spinning around play, and he'll send it right to first base. The jumping catch, and that'll be 2 outs to start things off for the Regina Red Sox. So 2 quick outs here. And now coming to the plate is number 29, Corey Woders. There's a strike. He's normally listed as a pitcher, but can play first base as well. There's a hit into right field, and that'll be fielded easily to close out the inning. 1, 2, 3 for the Regina Red Sox as we move into the bottom of the second.
And that's exactly how you draw it up defensively if you're the Red Sox. Clean inning, quick.
We'll be right back from Curry Field.
Don't forget to purchase your 50/50 tickets for the Red Sox game day staff selling tickets throughout the stands. We sell 50/50 until the end of the 6th inning, and we're going to take the last in the 8th inning. Tonight, all presidents of your Regina Red Sox. Now for the downfield of the team.
Very much, Jill. A moment the public and heating party deck with the Group of Tourism Saskatoon joined by Amy. Now, first and foremost, tell me what you think of the deck. How is the vibe out here?
Yeah, the vibe is amazing. Beautiful night.
Well, it doesn't get much better than that. Baseball, great drinks, beautiful night. Now, what is your final score prediction?
Welcome back to Curry Field.
Sox are going to win.
Mitch, from a defensive perspective, how refreshing is that 1-2-3 inning for the Regina Red Sox?
Yeah, you love that if you're the Red Sox. You're not increasing the amount of hitters seen in an inning, increasing the amount of pitches, thus potentially shortening the length that your starter can go. That's ideal.
Commercials.
Comes
The
to
live
plate
sports
here.
experience is changing.
Coming to the plate is number 2, Brady Bye, the catcher. Time is called by
Teams
the
and
umpire.
facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Yes. One Jeremy Freeman. Yeah. What? Is that Jeremy Freeman? What are you doing? Number one. Red Sox won. No, not Regina Red Sox. So what? Red Sox number 1. Do we have a number 1? We don't have number 1. Yeah. Who's this fella? That's Raphael Jackson. Brady Bile fouled that one off. We apologize for the technical difficulties in the booth. We're figuring it out.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment.
Here's a foul
IKS
ball
Live
from
has the
Brady
right
Bye.
team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Two count for Brady Bye off of the recent ball. And here is the pitch. And that'll be strike 3. Baez not too happy about that one. He thought it was outside. And that'll be the first out. And now here comes Raphael Jackson for the Regina Red Sox. Jackson at the plate. Here's the pitch. And that'll be a big hit into center right field. And it'll fall. It'll hit the wall. And he'll make it to second base on a huge double pushed in between the center and the right fielder.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, when Regina's making contact, far more often than not, it is hard contact.
Yeah, Regina's batters know how to swing the bat, excuse me. And now here comes Justin Samard to the plate. He has a runner in scoring position. He's hoping to bring Raphael Jackson home. And here's the pitch. Jackson going. And he
The
will
live
make it to
sports
third.
experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience in the seats or streaming to you.
Big hit into center right field.
That should be deep enough.
That'll be a hit, but it'll also bring Raphael Jackson across.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Smart.
IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Yeah, good for him to push it to the outfield here. A sacrifice fly, but it goes far enough for Raphael Jackson to make himself home. 2 outs on the board, and now here comes Matthew Fox.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Fox back to the plate. Down 2 strikes to no balls. And that'll be just outside for ball 1. A 1-2 count with 2 outs for Matthew Fox, the shortstop. And he's made some good plays tonight.
Yeah, always defensively sound for the Red Sox.
Fouled off behind the plate from Matthew Fox.
He plays a very top-end shortstop.
Yeah, here at Curve Field this year, we've seen some athletic plays from Matthew Fox. Lots of jumping, lots of spinning, and lots of accuracy. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss, and that'll close out the bottom of the second. Regina Red Sox again score 1 run. And we'll take a quick break.
Literally got an email today saying you have to download these ads and play them with no instructions.
There's nothing playing right now.
We're in an ad break.
Does it show up on the computer?
It doesn't show up.
Oh, it doesn't.
Time for our next game. We're in the stands with Tammy, who showed up in her Western finest tonight. So, of course, we're going to play a game with Tammy, and we like to call this one Guess the Red Sox Player. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to drop three facts on you. You're
Yeah,
gonna
it'd be
tell
a
me
break
which
for
Red
season.
Sox
That'd be
player
If
it
August
is.
rested, he still hit that double, that'd be impressive.
First hint. He's from White
Most
City.
likely probably
Our
James
second
Gunn.
hint.
Died
Verse
there
number
in
2.
the hours.
And our third hint. Catcher. Who is the player?
I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
Who's at right now? Who is that?
Congratulations, Tammy. You're going home with a prize package courtesy of the Regina Red
That's Mel's
Sox.
son.
Let's give it up.
That Mel's son.
Oh,
thank you.
Thanks for playing. And then do you want to remind everybody else to stick around?
Welcome back to Curry Field. The status of Jackson Searing still remains in the air as Matt Melanson has taken over for him at third base. He was the pinch runner as well. Mitch, what are you seeing over there?
Yeah, so he kind of comes off, pressed into duty here, fill in, but now we get a long extended look at Melanson, who's coming off a little bit of a dinged up injury himself. So now he's back fully healthy, and we get to see what he can do tonight.
Yeah, good opportunity here for Melanson to prove what he can do in a deep Regina Red Sox team. That'll be a ball to start things off. Colton Anderson pitching to Mason Roll, number 24. Here's the pitch from Anderson. And that'll be fouled off to his left. People in attendance here at Curry Field are hoping that the injury to Jackson Searing is not too serious. He's known to be a very tough player and play through a lot of injuries. And here's a hit into left field. And there's a huge running catch from Raphael Jackson. A very fast player running over to get under that ball, make the play, and that's an out.
That's a great first step from Jackson. You know, kids watching out there, if you want to know the difference between able to flag in the gaps and having doubles fall, it's that first step read off the bat. And if you can step in the right direction, as easy as that sounds, it gives you all the time in the world to get where you need to be.
Here's the pitch from Anderson. And that'll be a strike. Yeah, great play there from Raphael Jackson. He's very fast. He's known to be able to get around the bases quickly. Here's another pitch from Anderson. And that'll be another strike. So an 0-2 count here to start things off against number 1, Jalen Freeman from Houston, Texas. And he'll hit that one to Riley Bender. Bender hits it off his glove onto the ground. Throws it to first. He'll be safe, not in time. As Freeman will get there. And they'll give him the base hit.
And just to give you an idea of the importance of that play that Jackson makes as a leadoff hitter, the Red Sox would be staring down the barrel of runners on first and second, nobody out, if he hadn't been able to make that catch.
Here's the pitch. And that'll be another strike going towards Carter Beck, the Saskatoon Berry star. Jalen Freeman will walk off of first base. Here's the pitch. A bunt attempt from Beck. It'll be fair. The play is made at first for the out.
Looks like he tripped out of the box.
Yeah, he may have tripped out of the box. I thought he hit his finger or something on the ball, but not the way that Carter Beck wanted to play that one. He's had a couple of misplays right now going through the bases, and that'll be 2 outs.
Yeah, the pitch was probably a little more up and in than he was expecting. He kind of hung in there And then one of his spikes must have caught something.
A bit of a misplay there. But he does advance Jalen Freeman to second base. Coming to the plate now is Ethan Menard. Number 33, the designated hitter. Big swing and a miss for Menard.
An important situation early in this game. Runner in scoring position, 2 outs. You want to strand him here for the Red Sox, and if you're Saskatoon here, cutting the lead in half is critical.
Here's the pitch from Anderson. Really a ball, it'll be a little bit of a drop there from Brady Bye. Freeman leading off a second. Anderson checks back. Checks back again. A third time, and here's the pitch. It'll be hit to the shortstop, Matthew Fox. He'll throw it across to first base for the easy out. And that'll end the inning. The Saskatoon Bears scoreless through 3 as we go to an ad break.
Solid contact, so you can see if they can make an adjustment.
Coming back to the plate is Jordan Tucker, of course, the man who hit the leadoff home run for the Regina Red Sox. He'll look to have some similar success here in this inning.
Yeah, he wasted no time last at bat.
Yeah, great way to start and get your team fired up. This will be a strike on the inside edge for an 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. And that'll be outside for ball number 1.
And you have to imagine that's probably going to be the steady diet that Tucker sees for the rest of the night.
Here's the pitch. And that one will be low for ball number 2. Here's the pitch. And that'll be inside on Tucker to move it to a 3-1 count. So the Bears not wanting to give Tucker anything here because they know what he can do when he's given the right ball. Here's the pitch. And that'll be hit well into left field. He'll get at least one base here. And a nice single to start things off for Tucker. Putting it in between the third baseman and the shortstop. And just rolling it out to left field.
Yeah, Tucker certainly has that fastball out over the plate on lockdown tonight. He's not missing barrels.
Now here comes Kalura to the plate.
The pitch to Kalura. That'll be hit high and fair into left field. This will be fielded well by Freeman, and it'll send Tucker back to first base.
As a quick out there. And now here comes Matt Melanson, of course, filling in for the injured Jackson Searing. Everyone hoping that's not too serious. Here's a check to first base, and it's not in time. He'll step back on the mound. He'll check first base again. And here's the pitch. Be fouled high behind the plate. And that's an 0-1 count to start things off for Matt Melanson. Red Sox fans have seen a bit of Melanson so far this year. And here's the pitch. He'll be hit high behind the plate again. It'll fall into the crowd. It'll be an 0-2 count.
And I think the last at bat Melanson actually had was a hit by pitch. And I can't really remember how many pitches he saw that at bat, but it's been a little bit for him.
Big swing and a miss will bring him down 0-3. And that'll be 2 outs here. And now coming up to the plate, number 44, Jalen Seward, of course, the first-year Red Sox. He's looking to get Jordan Tucker around the bases here as the Sox look to widen their lead with 2 outs on the board. Here's the pitch. Be fouled off behind the plate. Looked like Seward had second thoughts about that ball when it got closer to the plate.
Yeah, a little bit of a late breaking slider. Looks like the slider's thrown fairly firm.
Here's the pitch. That'll be inside. Looks like a clip the jersey of Seward. Tucker leading out first base. Here's the pitch. And that'll be a strike. A 1-2 count here with 2 outs for Seward.
So now we'll see if it's going to be the slider in the left-handed batter's box, trying to get Seward to chase, or if they're going to choose to try and freeze him inside with a fastball.
Here's the pitch. And that'll be a swing and a miss for Tucker, and that'll move it to the top of the 4th as we go to an ad break. Pretty good so far. This is good stuff.
Yeah, game's moving pretty quick.
That's good.
Take this before you take a 15 to 14 game any day.
Welcome back to Curry Field. The Red Sox's first scoreless inning
as they failed to record a run in the bottom of the third. Mitch, what did you see out there?
Yeah, and it's not entirely realistic to expect to score every inning. Sometimes, the guy on the mound gets paid too, as they say, and you have to tip your hat to them when they do their job. And so that's probably a little bit more what Saskatoon's starting pitcher was looking for himself. So now we'll see if that's something he can settle into, or if the Red Sox can scratch something again in the fourth.
The Saskatoon Bears will not go down without a fight, of course. They are 17-3 and they lead the entire East Division. So a very good team coming into Curry Field, also on a 2-game win streak, beating Energy City twice in a row. And they're 9-1 in their last 10 games. Colton Anderson still on the mound for the Regina Red Sox. And coming to the plate right now is number 31, Medina. Abia Medina. And here's the pitch from Anderson. And that'll be high for ball 1. We saw Medina reach base in his last at-bat on the play that injured Jackson Searing. And here's the pitch from Anderson. Big swing and a miss. Will even up the count. And here's the pitch from Anderson. And that'll be a ball. Here comes the pitch. Another high ball. Moves the count to 3-1.
Yeah, so this is one of those situations where you want to force contact. Obviously, you don't want to leave it out over the plate.
Well, there was some contact forced there.
Or you could do that, I guess.
As the contact was forced with the body of Medina, and they will walk him on the hit by pitch to first base. And now here comes Ethan Murdoch to the plate. Trying to advance his runner, Medina. Here's the pitch from Anderson. That'll be outside for ball 1. Anderson starting on the plate. Checks first. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss from Murdoch.
And one of Anderson's biggest traits is the ability to throw fastballs by hitters in this league.
Here's the pitch. It'll be high for ball number 2.
And throw it by good hitters, premier hitters.
No shortage of talent in the WCBL. As here's the pitch from Anderson. As that'll be just outside for ball 3. I know Anderson faces a similar 3-1 count here. Here's the pitch. And that'll be ball 4. And he will walk Murdoch.
So this might be one of the first kind of important moments in the game defensively for the Red Sox. Runners up first and second, nobody out. Kind of the first real sign of trouble.
Yeah, the Sox are going to look for a good defensive performance here to close out this inning and get some life in them. Number 11, Nathan Houston, coming up to the plate. Here's the pitch. Be fouled off behind the plate for strike number 1.
Houston was an all-star in Moose Jaw last year, I believe.
Making the move from Moose Jaw to Saskatoon, staying within Saskatchewan, is Houston. Very good baseball player. Here's the pitch. It'll be a big swing and a miss.
And now Anderson finds himself with an 0-2 count here against Houston. This is a better spot for him to be in.
Yeah, working ahead as a pitcher just means that everything's available to you.
Anderson checking second, checking first, checking second again. Second and third time, here's the pitch. And that'll be high for ball one.
You know, you can expand the zone a little bit. You can change a hitter's eye level.
And now a meeting at the plate here. Of course, no warming up yet for the Regina Red Sox, so this will just be a little meeting. But do we see a player start to warm up for the Regina Red Sox after this?
I don't see any movement in the bullpen.
Yeah, looks like just a little conversation at the mound. Of course, that's Stephen Butts, the pitching coach. And he'll walk back to the dugout after having a little discussion with Colton Anderson.
You could just be making sure that everyone's aware of the situation, how important this next pitch is.
This is a big pitch for Anderson. Here's the pitch. That'll be hit to the shortstop, Matthew Fox. He'll make a double play attempt. He won't get there in time. He'll get one out at second. But now we'll have runners on the corners for the Saskatoon Bears after the double play attempt was not fruitful. One out and a runner in scoring position here for number 8, Balin Sorensen, of course the catcher for the Saskatoon Berries.
And so Anderson able to force a ground ball there, but Houston can run. It's a tough turn for Fox.
Here's the pitch from Anderson. That'll be outside for ball one. Anderson will check first. Here's the pitch. And that'll be another ball. Looks close. Just finds the edge. And sneaks over it. And it'll be 2-0. Here's the check to first. Nothing doing there as Anderson will step back onto the mound. And here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss from Sorensen. That'll move the count to 2-1. And Anderson looking to record an out here. Here's the pitch. That'll be high, foul behind the plate. Move the count to 2-2, even it up.
And a critical pitch coming here from Anderson.
This is a big pitch. Checking first. Here's the pitch. Another foul ball behind the plate. We're seeing a lot of movement over there at first base. A little bit of dancing.
Yeah, you know, if you're Saskatoon, ideally, if you can stay out of the double play, you want to do that. But again, Anderson's already picked off one runner.
Here's the pitch. And that'll be hit into left field, and that'll fall. A very far hit. Bounce off the wall. And this will score 2. A huge double for Balin Sorensen. He brings 2 runs across, and just like that, this game is tied.
Yeah, so you kind of see what we were saying there about the importance of that next pitch coming in. And one swing of the bat, and we have a tie ball game. You know, and you know that's a good at bat by Sorensen. Fouled pitches off that were, you know, pitches. He was able to get something he could handle.
Here's the pitch from Anderson. And that'll be a low one.
and the catcher just can't get a mitt on it. And that's a huge play from Sorensen, the senior at Southeastern Louisiana.
Yeah, and we knew this was going to be a tight ball game coming in.
Here's the pitch. It'll be high. This will be ball 2.
Two teams that have only played each other. This is the second matchup, so still trying to get a feel for each other.
Yeah, big rivalry between these two teams. Here's the pitch. That'll be another ball. So
Right.
3-0.
And I believe these two teams play each other something like 3 of the next 5 games as well. So they're going to become very comfortable with each other shortly.
Here's the pitch. That'll be the first strike. It's good to kindle a rivalry. Have these teams play each other a lot.
Yeah, and just a good measuring stick for both teams.
Here's the pitch. That'll be outside, and this will be another walk. It looks like we're going to start to have some warm-ups in the dugout, or the bullpen. That was the Regina Red Sox, and now here comes number 24, Roel. And now 2 runners on, and here's the pitch. Letting another ball for Anderson, so that's 2 balls in a row. Across 2 batters. Here's the pitch. And there's another ball. So if you're Anderson here, how do you reset?
Yeah, and typically you don't see Anderson falling behind hitters too often. Certainly doesn't walk a whole heck of a lot of guys. So right now, he's just going to kind of get a feel for the strike zone again. The last 2 pitches there, based on his body language, he believes that he's hitting that outside third. And for whatever reason he's not, or maybe he's actually missing the outside third. But, he needs to kind of find it here.
And there's another ball from Anderson, moves the count to 3-0. We've seen many more balls than strikes here recently for Anderson. Bit uncharacteristic. Here's another pitch. That'll be his first strike against Roel.
Yeah, and Anderson is the reigning pitcher of the year in this league. So, this is a league that he knows well and has done very well in.
Well, there's another strike. Maybe figuring this out a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think that's the spot he's been trying to hit for most of this inning.
And here comes a big pitch from Anderson. It'll be hit into right field. It'll be short enough that it'll be a hit. And bases loaded now.
The old Texas leaguer, that type of base hit has about 100 different names, and every one of them is awesome. Dying Quail, Texas leaguer, the old bloop, duck toot. There's a bunch of them.
Well, now here comes Jalen Freeman to the plate. He's looking to create a lead here for the Berries. As he will swing at that one, foul it off. And that will be strike 1. Plays at Eastern New Mexico University. He's a senior there.
We talk about important moments. This is another one for the Red Sox here.
Another foul goes down to the third baseline.
As Carter Beck is on deck with runners in scoring position. And just the one out as it stands now.
That does not bode well for the Regina Red Sox. Of course, Carter Beck not having all the success in the world on the bases tonight with a trip and a little bit of a... There's a foul.
Yeah, so if ever there was a time you wish that your starting pitcher could roll a double play ground ball, now is it.
Sox needing to bite down and get set. Jalen Freeman, the southpaw, bats left, throws left. At the plate, here's the pitch. That'll be a high outside ball for ball one. Each runner leading off. Here's the pitch. That'll be outside again for another ball. Here's the pitch from Anderson. That'll be a high pop fly. It's playable. And it is caught by Riley Bender for out number 2. And that's a big play.
Yeah, it certainly helps for the Red Sox.
Well, now here comes Carter Beck, of course. An all-star for the Saskatoon Berries. Very, very good. Saskatchewan boy, Saskatchewan kid. He's had a bit of trouble in the bases tonight. But in a big-time situation like this one, big-time players make big-time plays. Here's the pitch. Check swing. That'll be a strike.
And this is the matchup you pay for if you're a fan. This matchup in this situation.
Looks like a lot of fans came to see this. A very full ballpark tonight here at Curry Field. The rivalry kindling some attendance, and here's the pitch. That'll be fouled off high. Anderson gets set. Here's the pitch. That'll be hit by Becca. It'll bounce over the head of Anderson. And misplayed by Matthew Fox as 2 Red Sox were convening on the ball. And that will be a hit for Carter Beck. And it will expand the lead of the Berries by 1.
Yeah, that's a tough play if you're the shortstop, Matthew Fox there. Beck and run. You got a high chop. That means you have to dive down on the ball. Still have to wait for the hop. Yeah, it's just a tough play.
It's a bouncing ball. It's hard to make a play on. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss here for number 33, Ethan Menard. Base is still loaded after that run across the plate. And here's the pitch. And that'll foul off, and it'll hit the catcher, too. Brady By walking that one off. I'm making an 0-2 count. Brady By from White City, the neighboring city of Regina, so a local kid. Here's the pitch from Anderson. I'll be fouled behind the plate. The count remains 0-2 with 2 outs. And the Sox just looking to limit the damage here, as we do see some warm-ups happening in the Regina Red Sox bullpen. And here is the pitch from Anderson. That'll be a strike. And some musical chairs happening around the bases as By will just step on the plate to make the out.
The Sox limit the damage. There's 3 men left on as we go to the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, it's a big pitch by Anderson there.
We'll catch you after this break.
And that's a happy birthday to their head coach, Lonnie Schiffman. Scriptman, I apologize. Lonnie, congratulations, happy birthday, thanks for being here, and thanks for coaching our young ones.
Welcome back to Curry Field. The Saskatoon Berries leave 3 men on there. They would have liked to increase their lead by a bit more than they did, but of course they get back into the ball game with 3 runs in the top of the 4th. What'd you see out there?
Yeah, they just kind of took advantage in a few spots. Obviously, had the big swing of the bat by Sorensen. Kind of split the gap there and scored 2. And then they were just able to take advantage of hitters' counts, either drawing walks or putting balls in play and good hitting counts.
An admirable inning from the Saskatoon Berries as now here comes Riley Bender to the plate. Here's the pitch. And that'll be a ball. Riley Bender can play third base or shortstop. He's out of Kingswood, Texas, and plays at Mary Hardin Baylor University. This will be an outside for about a ball 2. Here's the pitch. Be a high foul. Go behind the plate. We are on a 2-1 count here for Riley Bender.
I think the big thing if you're the Red Sox here, like you have confidence that you've been having good at bats
Big
all
swing and a
night
miss
so
there.
far. So because of that, you don't have to really press. You know, you can just kind of continue what you've been doing up to this point.
Now here's the pitch for Bender. Let's be way outside. We'll have a full count here on our first batter of the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. This will be hit in a center field, playable, and it is played. A great catch there in center field, and that'll be the first out of the inning. And it just brings up Brady by on a big hit from Riley Bender, but it's easily fielded.
And if anyone's ever wondered why it's usually a great feat if you can hit 300 in a season, it's because you can do everything right in an at-bat and still get out.
Here's a pitch to Riley Bender. He fouls it off. Yeah, getting to 300 is a very impressive feat. We have many batters in the WCBL who are over 300 on their batting average, but you can do everything right, hit a great ball, and an athletic play from a fielder can wipe it all out.
Yeah, it'd be enough to give you nightmares as a hitter.
Here's the pitch. That'll be a low ball. Yeah, averages don't always tell the full story. Here's the pitch to By. Let's swing at that one too. He'll foul it off. This will be a 1-2 count here with 1 out. Brady By, of course, was hit by a ball in the face at the top of this inning. Of course, he was the catcher, so he had the mask on, so he's probably okay. And now here's the pitch. He'll hit it to the first baseman. He'll pick it up and just walk over to the base. And that'll be the second out of the inning
So 2 up, 2 down so far for the Regina Red Sox. And they're looking to break out of this. Maybe a bit of a momentum shift after this inning as the Berries put up 3 in the top of the 4th. Pretty entertaining game so far. We've only had 1 scoreless inning.
Yeah, and it's been fairly clean baseball. Which is, I think I kind of said it off air. You'd rather watch a good clean ball game as opposed to a 15-14 kind of thing.
Here's the pitch. It'll be low on Raphael Jackson, who made that athletic play. I believe it was 2 innings ago, where he ran and was able to put himself underneath the ball. And here's a good hit in right field. It'll go between the second baseman and the first baseman. Just roll a nice little grounder out there. That'll be a hit. Samar coming to the plate. Here's the pitch to Samard. That'll be a strike, hitting the bottom edge of the strike zone. Be an 0-1 count here to start things off for Samard. Here's the pitch. And that'll be a ball. Something I want to talk about here about the Saskatoon Berries. New jerseys revealed recently. Some nice clean blackout jerseys for the Saskatoon Berries. Recently revealed, and there's a throw to first. That is not in time.
I haven't actually seen those new jerseys they released.
They look pretty clean. They should hopefully drive some merch sales over there in Saskatoon, but they look really good.
Is it like a complete blackout, hats and everything?
A complete blackout, some purple accents. And here's a hit from Samard. It'll fall. Get his man on base. A nice chop there from Samard. And now 2 on base, 1 in scoring position for the shortstop, number 7, Matthew Fox.
Back-to-back singles there from the Red Sox. Now we'll see if Fox can do the same likewise and drive a run in.
The pitcher for the Berries, number 51, Quinones. Here's the pitch from Quinones. That'll be hit by Fox to the shortstop. And that'll be an out. So a little bit of shortstop on shortstop action there to close out the inning with 3 outs. And that'll be the end of the 4th inning. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
-40 in the winter and I don't wear it too. It's 22 degrees and the sun goes down. I gotta put a jacket.
Still Anderson? Yeah. Well, welcome back to Curry Field. Colton Anderson still in the mound here for the Regina Red Sox. We do see some warm-ups happening in the bullpen. But after a 3-run inning, how do you reset as Colton Anderson and as the Regina Red Sox defense?
Yeah, you're kind of hoping that last half inning was a one-off, that Anderson can kind of find the strike zone so that he can work ahead against hitters and make all pitches available to him in all situations kind of thing. And you trust him, obviously, because of his success in this league.
Of course, Anderson, a very successful pitcher here in the WCBL. As you mentioned, pitcher of the year. That is not an easy task. Of course, many, many pitchers across the WCBL, holding everyone to a very high standard of play. And now here comes to the plate, number 31, Abia Medina. Medina has reached base on both of his previous attempts at the plate. He's looking to continue that trend here, as he'll face Anderson for a third time tonight. Here's the pitch from Anderson. That'll be a high ball for ball one. To the count to 1-0. Anderson starting down the plate, and here's the pitch. That'll be a strike. I think that's where he was aiming the first time, but just couldn't get it, and there he catches the corner and moves it to 1-1. Here is the pitch. And that'll be another ball to move the count to 2-1.
And if you're someone who follows Major League Baseball, you'll recognize this as being the third time through the order for Anderson.
Here's the pitch. Fouled off from the right side.
And so a lot of teams now have identified this as kind of the moment when most starting pitchers kind of get in a little bit of trouble. And oftentimes the guys on TV will have a very early hook because of that.
Here comes the pitch from Anderson. That'll be fouled off behind the plate. Bounces up for Medina. And a 2-2 count here. Bounced it out with the foul, does Medina. And now here's the pitch from Anderson. He's chasing that one. And that'll be a swing and a miss and a strikeout.
And that's a nasty 2-2 pitch. Lefty-lefty, wipeout slider. That's just a tough pitch to handle.
So Anderson pitching well. After his fourth inning, here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss there from number 34, Ethan Murdoch, from Swift Current, Saskatchewan. So another Saskatchewan product. Here's the pitch. And that'll be another swing and a miss. It'll be strike two to move the count to 0-2.
And it would certainly seem that Anderson has found the proverbial mojo again.
Here's the pitch. And that'll be hit into right field for a foul ball. Murdoch, one of the few players in the WCBL who has a hometown team. Swift Current. Here's the pitch from Anderson. That'll be another foul. As Murdoch staying alive at the plate right now. Waiting to see if Anderson's going to give him a nice ball for him to get some juice on. And here's the pitch. That'll be strike three. He's caught looking. And Anderson, yes, talking about the proverbial mojo. He's got some of that back. He's struck out both of the two batters that have come to face him so far this inning.
Yeah, he seems to be dialed back in. He's found the zone. He's very comfortable on the mound again.
Now comes to the plate, number 11, Nathan Houston. Here's the pitch. That's a strike. Of course, we're talking about Houston, who used to play on the Mushaw Miller Express. Just down the road from here in Regina, about a 45-minute drive. And here is the pitch. There's another strike from Anderson. And he's pitching well so far in this fifth inning.
Yeah, Slider's back. He's working ahead.
That'll be hit to Matthew Fox, who'll pick it up on the bounce and throw right to first base. What a great play from Matthew Fox. And it'll be a 1-2-3 inning here for the Regina Red Sox defense as we move into an ad break. Welcome back to Courier Field on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. A nice little chill in the air, probably around 15, 14 degrees here. And after a bit of a meltdown in the top of the fourth inning, the Regina Red Sox, specifically Colton Anderson, had a great bounce back inning.
Yeah, and sometimes things just get away from you a little bit. You know, whether it's something mechanical or sometimes you even just lose the feel for 5-10 minutes. But it's nice to see Colton be able to dial it back in.
We have some warm-ups in each team's bullpen at the moment. Quinones for the Berries has been in this whole game. And he'll still be on the mound here. As here comes number 10, Jordan Tucker, who had the leadoff home run to start the game.
And Tucker's been locked in. Both balls he's hit very hard.
Here's the pitch. And that'll be a ball to start things off here. Tucker, when he's made contact tonight, he's been hitting it hard. Here's the pitch. And Quinones will put that one outside.
Yeah, he's been wearing left field out.
That's what you want to do as a hitter. You want to wear him out. Here's the pitch from Quinones. That'll be a high hit into left field, and it'll be fielded easily by the shortstop, number 11, Nathan Houston. That'll be the first out of the inning against the Regina Red Sox. And now here comes Jaden Kalura, number 21, the catcher. Plays at Nichols State. He is a senior there. Now here's the pitch. And that pitch from Quinones will catch the outside, and it'll be strike one. Here's the pitch. Be fouled off behind the plate. As Kalura steps back into the box. And Quinones stares him down. No man on. One out for the Berries. Here's the pitch. That'll be fouled right at the Berries dugout. And the coach will go retrieve that ball so he can actually get this next play off. Quinones gets set at the mound. Here's the pitch. And that'll be outside for ball number one.
You notice his rate has been pretty good. He's at 66 pitches now, the bottom of 5, which means he probably has a few more innings left in him.
Here's the pitch. That'll be a high hit from Kalura. This may well end the inning. 2 chasing after it.
Oh.
And it'll fall. Kalura hits out in the right field for a double. Between 2 men who are both chasing after a very well-placed ball.
And just like that, we have a runner on second.
It seemed like there was a little bit of a miscommunication there in right center field.
Yeah, they weren't sure who should go for it in right center. And Quinones will step back onto the mound.
And the Red Sox get a little bit of a break there. See if they can capitalize.
Quinones will step off the mound here, as Matt Melanson will be at the plate. Last time he was up, he had 0-3 strikeout. And here's the pitch. He'll watch that one go by for ball 1. And here is the pitch from Quinones. That'll be a high ball. Moves the count to 2-0. And the Red Sox are looking to take the lead back after they lost it in the top of the 4th. Runner in scoring position for Melanson. That'll be close to him. It'll be another ball. Be a 3-0 count here for Melanson.
Yeah, he's in the driver's seat now a little bit. He can really hone in on one spot, one pitch, and hunt what he's most comfortable with.
Got a bit of breathing room here with a 3-0 count. Here's the pitch from Quinones. That'll be a first strike across the plate from Quinones. Kalura staying pretty firm at second. And here's the pitch. Fouled off by Melanson, and just like that, we have a full count.
Everybody clap your hands.
So Melanson, after having a 3-0 count, has moved it to 3-2 with 1 out on the board. And here's the pitch. He'll swing and miss. And just when he could have made it on base, Quinones throws some good balls. And he'll get a second out on the board. Not the way Melanson wanted that one to end. But some good pitching.
That's a pretty nasty 3-2 slider there. Tough pitch to handle.
And now here comes Jalen Seward. 2 outs on the board. He'll try to bring Kalura home and at least tie it here. Here's the ball. And that will be a ball. Coming inside on Seward, the first baseman. 6'5", 225 out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Here's the pitch. And that'll be a strike from Quinones.
There's that sharp slider at work again for Quinones.
That last name is a mouthful.
Yeah, certainly unique. All my years in baseball, I haven't come across that one.
Check back to second base.
It's not in time. And Quinones will step back onto the mound. Calero was ready for that one. And here's the pitch. That'll be a ball. 2-1 count here. With 2 outs.
And Seward is someone thus far for the Red Sox at least shown really good feel for the plate and for what he wants to do. Good approach.
Here's the pitch. That'll be another ball. Close to swinging, not there. And some righty-on-righty action here. Of course, Quinones the righty and Seward the righty.
And Seward has himself at a good spot now.
Here's the pitch. And that'll be a high foul behind the plate. And another full count here. That'll hit something hard. Maybe just in the washrooms.
Concession stand taking a beating.
Well, those roofs over there look a little worse for wear.
And Quinones, here's the pitch. Be a high hit here from Seward. Looks fieldable. And it is. And that'll end the inning. The Sox get no man across. And we will go to the top of the 6th when we come back.
Since 1974, in an agreement with the government of Saskatchewan, lottery sales in Saskatchewan have been used to provide more than $1.4 billion to support athletes from grassroots level all the way to the international stage. Connect youth to artistic experiences, help residents experience the beauty of parks, then cover athletics, and so much more. SaskLotteries.ca for more. TBR, are you ready to do that?
Now it's time to play a game of Electus, and we like to call this one Name That Tune. Pretty straightforward. So once the DJ's ready to spin that track, she's going to give you the name, and she might be going home with a nice little Western prize package courtesy of Exhibition, because she showed up wearing the right gear. She's got a cowboy hat on. So, DJ, let's spin it.
Welcome back to Courier Field as we do have a pitching change here for the Regina Red Sox. Colton Anderson now out of the game after an impressive performance through 5 innings. And now it's number 39, Ryden Walker on the mound. I haven't seen a lot of him at Curry Field. Walker, the righty, 6'1", 180 from White City. Or excuse me, no, it's James Adcox. Adcox we did see recently enough. He played against Energy City. 6'1", 195 a righty out of Dallas, Texas. A junior at Louisiana State Shreveport. This is someone people at Curry Field may be a bit more familiar with.
I'm sure our listeners will never get tired of us pointing out that Shreveport was 59-0.
Love Shreveport.
Probably been brought up on every broadcast, and for good reason.
What a great run.
Truly unbelievable. Like, I couldn't imagine not losing a single game in baseball over 60 games.
A lot of players on the Regina Red Sox out of Louisiana State Shreveport. And there's a fly behind the plate. Moves the count to 1-1. Yeah, big playoff run there too. Held some players off from coming back up north until they had finished. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss. Count is now at 1-1.
for Balin Sorensen, who had that huge hit 2 innings ago. Here's the pitch. That'll be another foul. The count is 1-2. And a stray ball gets behind the plate.
And they'll pick it up, run it back.
Corey Wouters on deck for the Berries.
And here's a pitch from Adcox.
That'll be hit hard down the third base line. That'll sneak by Riley Bender. And that'll be a nice little single for Balin Sorensen.
Now coming to the plate, number 29, Corey Waters.
And Sorensen saw himself a day thus far. On a team that is obviously very good. He's kind of been one of the standouts tonight.
Foul ball off the bat of Waters. Bats right, throws left. From Saskatoon, a local kid. A sophomore at Winthrop University. 6'2", 220.
Here's the pitch. It'll be low. This will be checked to first. Won't be in time. And the count is 1-1.
Adcox, here's the pitch.
Another foul tip. Moves the count to 1-2. He just got a piece of that on that swing.
Number 24, Roel, will come in and grab the stray ball from the dugout.
And here's the pitch from Adcox. And that'll be a ball just outside the zone.
And the Saskatoon Berries are warming up a pitcher. Number 37, Rude.
Here's the pitch. That'll be hit over the head
Of number 11, Justin Simard.
This will go way out into right field. It'll be a double.
A good hit there. Good placement. Over the head of Simard.
The ball's hit very well. Hard. And to give you an idea of how hard that ball is hit, it's not a ball that flies the gap. It's actually going to split it on the ground and roll because it's hit that hard. It's a good piece of hitting by Waters there.
Yeah, very impressive. Very hard hitting.
And now Roel will come to the plate.
And so we have another one of those quote unquote important moments of the game for the Red Sox and for Saskatoon.
Yeah, this is a big one. Saskatoon wants to expand their lead, and they have 2 runners in scoring position. Meanwhile, Regina looking to keep themselves in this, but that might be hard. With 2 runners in scoring position and no outs. Here's the pitch. This will be hit to Simard. He'll jump and catch it. He'll throw to first, and that'll be an out. But on the sacrifice ball, that one runner comes across, and the lead of the Bears is expanded by 1.
Yeah, and really the only play Simard had there is a high chopping ground ball. He has to jump, and with all that going on, he doesn't have a chance to throw Sorensen out at home because Sorensen is going on in contact.
So top of the 6th, the score is now 4-2 for the Saskatoon Berries.
Here's the pitch.
That'll be fouled hard. On his left side. He'll step back into the box here. Count at 0-1 with 1 out. And a man on the left corner, third base. Here's the pitch. That'll be a strike. Wouters at third. An 0-2 count to start things off.
And here's the pitch. And that'll be a ball.
Ball 1 against Jalen Freeman, the outfielder. Again from Houston, Texas.
And here's the pitch.
That'll be inside and low for ball number 2. Evens up the count at 2-2. 1 out still. And Wouters at third. And here's the pitch. That'll be outside for another ball. So 3 consecutive balls here for Adcox to make the count full, make things interesting here. There's a full count with 1 out.
He's trying to be careful here, base open.
And that will be another ball. 4 consecutive balls for James Adcox to walk number 1, Jalen Freeman. And now here comes Carter back to the plate.
And while you obviously don't want to walk hitters to get to Carter Beck, you do now have the opportunity for a double play ball and to strand the runner.
Here's a pitch from Adcox. And Freeman is stealing. It'll be close. He'll be safe. And the crowd at Curry Field not super happy with that. A close ball at second. But Freeman will make it there. Counts 0-1 off the Carter Beck strike. And is that a balk called?
A balk.
They call a balk. And Wouters will get across. And now we'll have a meeting here. Interesting call.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the old have to declare you're going from the full.
Well, it looks like it'll be.
What the exact reasoning was.
Yeah, it'll be 5-2 here if this balk run stands. This doesn't look like there's any challenging. Yeah, it'll be 5-2 here at the top of the 6th. Meeting at the plate, Elmer Jerkovich talking with Stephen Butts, the pitching coach. Butts hears what Jerkovich has to say. Not sure if he's too happy about it, but he'll take it. And the score will be 5-2 at the top of the 6th. When the Berries score, they score in volumes. Here's the run, pitch. And it'll be a high ball into left field, fielded by number 20, Raphael Jackson. A pitch to the plate. We'll make it there in time, and the lead is expanded 6-2. And again, what we were talking about, the Berries scoring in volumes, getting a lot across the plate when they do get across the plate. And there's 3 runs in the top of the 6th. So they had 3 runs in the top of the 4th as well. The Red Sox having 1 run in 1 inning 2 times. Both their scoring innings, they've only scored 1 run in those innings. And the Berries rattling off a lot when they do score. And now Ethan Menard to the plate, number 33. And he'll get set for this pitch from Adcox. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss. With the count to 0-1. And he's the lone man on the field right now for the Berries. Everyone else scored. Here's the pitch from Adcox. That'll be a ball.
Yeah, and so the big thing now is you want to make sure it stays where it is. Give your team the ability to slowly chip away.
Big hit from Menard, puts it into the gap. That'll be a hit.
Or as the Red Sox certainly have the capability of putting up a crooked number of their own.
Yeah, I'm sure this is not the start that James Adcox wanted. This is his first inning in, and he's let 3 across the plate. It's 6-2. Here's the pitch. That'll be a ball.
So 1-0 count. And Menard, the DH, at first base. Here's the pitch. That'll be a pass ball. Menard stealing, and that'll be a bad throw. 2-second. Birdie by not super happy after that one. And a steal from Menard. If you're the Red Sox here, what do you need to do to close this inning out?
Yeah, you just got to kind of maybe take a breath, take a step off and really focus in here on what you need to do to ensure that this runner stays stranded on second base and you can get out of this inning. 6-2, you're down 4. It's still within striking range with the amount of time left. 7-2 is a lot different than 6-2.
Low inside pitch. It'll be ball 3. 3-0 count with 2 outs.
Here's a pitch. And that'll be ball number 4. So 4 consecutive balls from James Adcox.
And he'll walk another batter. And now coming to the plate. It's number 34. Ethan Murdoch. That was Medina that was at the plate there. And he continues to find the base. Or get on base, excuse me.
Here's the pitch.
I think Medina's gotten on base every single time he's been up to bat this evening.
I was just thinking it's a good night for the OBP for him.
That'll be a inside pitch. Comes close to Murdoch. It'll be
6 consecutive balls for James Adcox. Here's the pitch. And that's a hit into center field. Well placed. This will be a single for him. And they were checking second base there. They thought Medina got too far off. That was a more well-placed ball. They may have had something there. But alas, they do not. And now a pitching change as Adcox is coming out.
So that spells the night for Adcox. We have a new pitcher coming in. We'll tell you who he is when we come back.
I think it's Aiden Page.
Yeah, most likely arm sleeve.
Pitching change for your Regina Red Sox. Taking the mound now, number 40, Aiden Page.
You want to do it around the horn?
Yeah, I'll pass it to you. You can say what you got to say about that. Yeah.
Welcome back to Curry Field. The new pitcher for the Regina Red Sox, number 40, Aiden Page. But let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Yeah, so we have Brooks Bombers leading the Okotoks Dogs 6-4 in the top of the 6th. And Fort McMurray Giants leading the Swift Current 57s 4-2, top of the 6th. Sylvan Lake Gulls are leading the Moose Jaw Miller Express 7-1, also in the top of the 6th. Medicine Hat Mavericks are leading 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th in Weyburn, Tom Lang Park. And it looks like the second half of a doubleheader between Energy City and Lethbridge. Energy City is currently leading 2-0, the bottom of 1.
Thank you, Mitch. And now Aiden Page, reliable pitcher. We've seen a lot of him here at Curry Field. He'll step up onto the mound.
And here is his first pitch. Outside ball. Check swing, it didn't swing. So will be ball one.
Aiden, another one of those returning players from last year's team for the Red Sox.
Second year Red Sox. Here's the pitch from Aiden Page. Big swing and a miss from Nathan Houston.
Of course, the infielder, 6 feet, 165, from Melville, Saskatchewan.
Gonna date myself here a little bit, but that was a ballpark in this league I always enjoyed playing at.
It's Melville.
Yeah, Melville. I always enjoyed that ballpark. Seemed to get really, really dark at night, but you could still see the glow of the ball.
It's a good atmosphere. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss. I believe Melville is also the home of the now defunct Melville Millionaires.
Yeah, like I said, dating myself a little bit.
Some good sports are played in Melville.
Yeah, it's been a good sports town for a long time in this province.
Here's the pitch. It'll be hit to the second baseman. He'll pick it up, field it to the first baseman. That'll be an out.
And well done by Aiden Page there, strand the runners.
Yeah, and that'll be limiting the damage from the Regina Red Sox. The score remains 6-2 at the top of the sixth. We'll take a break.
What is it? 7:05? 11:05. Yeah, that's right. That's what you just
Are you DE? Is it last name Matthew? No, it's Rude. Yeah. Oh.
Welcome back to Curry Field. A pitching change for the Saskatoon Berries as Dallin Rude comes in. We saw him throwing a lot of sidearms in the warm-up in the bullpen. Looks like that's what he's throwing right now as well.
Yeah, the Regina hitters are going to get a little bit of a different look.
And leading off this inning for the Regina Red Sox is going to be number 19, Riley Bender.
And here he comes to the plate. Solid walk-up song, 20 Men by Lil Uzi Vert.
Again, to date myself. Don't know what that is.
Here's the pitch. A curve on that ball. It'll be a ball, but some impressive bending in the air against Riley Bender. And here's the pitch again. Some more curvature, and that'll be 1-1 on the count.
Yeah, oftentimes with this arm angle, you'll have very sharp horizontal break. And then you can get the truly special sidewinders that can mix in some vertebrae too with that arm angle.
A hit here from Bender is going to be fair. It'll just barely be inside.
Oh, foul ball.
Or they call foul ball. That looked fair to me.
By a whisker.
I'm not so sure about that call. I thought that was fair.
Bullpen seems to think it was fair.
maybe just our angle on that ball, but Bender will have to come back to the plate. I assume he's not too happy about that, but is what it is. Count is still 2-2. Here's the pitch, and that'll be a hit in the left field. It'll be fielded pretty easily there by Jalen Freeman. It'll be 1 out after the fake out fair ball, which is now an out for Riley Bender. Now here comes Brady Bye. I'm going to test you on this song. Do you know what this song is?
I think this is old school Kanye West.
This is old school Kanye West. Okay, there you go. Yes. This is Homecoming by Kanye West. Also a very good walk-up song, but we got one. We got one. Here's the pitch. That'll be a ball. 1-0 to start things off for Brady Bye. That'll be hit right to the shortstop, and they'll basically walk to throw the ball to first base. So 2 outs here. The bottom of the 6th. And now Raphael Jackson coming to the plate. The pitch to Jackson is way inside. Nearly hits him. And another 1-0 count to start things off.
Yeah, sometimes what makes it difficult to hit pitchers with this arm angle is the arm side run that their fastball will have, and then the break as a left-handed hitter will kind of come back into you. So you're kind of working with both sides of the plate. You got run and break.
2-0 here to start things off. That'll be the first strike recorded.
I think you get an idea of the arm side run there on the fastball.
Yeah, I see that. Here's the pitch. That'll be a strike again. The right-handed sidewinder is Dallin Rude from Munster, Saskatchewan. Here's the hit to first base. It'll be an easy field, and it'll jog to the bag. And that'll be the end of the 6th inning. We'll catch you after the break.
We're coming, I promise. Bear with me. Now our teams here, our two contestants, Connor and Nikki. We're playing a little game down here on field level. One you might be familiar with. The old-fashioned cornhole. Okay, so we're going to go one at a time. Front and air, no cheating. No cheating. Back it up. There you go. Stop. That's it. Okay. Time. We're going to alternate. Whoever gets the most on in that hole wins. Are we ready? Connor, you're first. Go.
Welcome back to Curry Field. A little bit of cornhole being played on the field right now. As we move it to the top of the 7th inning. And that's still Aiden Page on the mound for the Red Sox. But I don't think anyone at Curry Field is complaining about that.
Okay, so just by a hair, Connor is the winner. Congratulations, Connor. Next week down there in Indiana, we're going to send you both home with the prize packages courtesy of the Regina Red Sox. You got the bragging rights, buddy. Nicely done. Let's give it up. Congratulations, Connor and the winner.
Aiden Page pitched solid in his first inning of action after James Adcox was pulled after allowing 3 runs in his only inning. What did you see out there, Mitch?
Yeah, it's a big sequence to, I believe it was Nathan Houston, to strand runners there in scoring position with 2 outs, which could have conceivably kind of broken the game open for Saskatoon a little bit. And now he faces Sorensen, who's been pretty dialed in tonight.
Now here comes Balin Sorensen. And that'll be low outside for ball 1. Sorensen, the beer batter for tonight here at Curry Field. May not have been a great choice. He's hitting pretty well today. Big swing and a miss from Sorensen. Count is now 1-1. Pitch from Page. Outside for ball 2. It took a weird bounce there on the fielding attempt. Here's the pitch. Be high and inside. Ball number 3.
A slider heavy on Sorensen based off of what he's done tonight already.
Here's the pitch. That'd be a nice ball for strike number 2. Full count here for Sorensen, the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, steady diet. They may just be curious to see if it's the pitch he can handle.
Here's the pitch from Page. That'll be strike 3. So free beer. No, not free beer, but cheap beer. Here at Curry Field after Balin Sorensen strikes out. Now Waters are coming to the plate. Corey Waters from Saskatoon, local kid. Here's the pitch. That'll be ball 1.
You don't need to do the balls. You don't need to do the balls with strikes. There's no.
Yeah, just added the out.
Just the outs.
Ball number 2. Across for Corey Waters. And here's the pitch from Page. And Waters will watch that one go by.
No score for some reason.
2-1 count, 1 out. Here's a pitch from Page. That'll be low in the dirt. Bounces off of Brady by. 3-1 count.
So now we'll see if the sequence stays the same. It was Sorensen, it was slider, and then froze with the fastball. The 3-2 count.
Here's Page. I'll be high and inside. For ball number 4, that's a walk. And Waters will find base again. Now, Mason Roll will come up to the plate. And here's the pitch. That'll be a strike. Thrown by Page. He's got some good weapons in his arsenal when it comes to pitching.
Yeah, he throws firm, and his slider is sharp. Like, he throws it hard.
Check swing. He swung. 0-2.
Which, generally speaking, as a pitcher, you don't want the timing hump in your off speed, where hitters' eyes are allowed to kind of reset themselves. And if you can throw it hard and sharp.
That pitch hit right at Aiden Page. Barely misses him, and Samar cannot get the handle on it. That'll be a hit there. Nearly misses the posterior of Aiden Page. There's a close ball there. And Samar cannot get the handle on it, falling backwards.
Yeah, Page actually almost fielded that himself behind his back.
Yeah, it would have been pretty impressive.
It's not working. I don't know what's going on.
Me either. And now Freeman will come up to the plate. Two men on, one in scoring position. And here's the pitch. That'll be a strike on the first pitch from Page. He's a reliable guy. Freeman playing left field today. He's had to make some plays tonight. Here is the pitch. That'll be hit into left field. Speaking of, and that'll be fielded by Raphael Jackson. And now we have 2 outs on the board.
It's a pretty good
fielding.
piece of hitting there.
Yep.
Freeman, sometimes you hit them where they ain't, and sometimes you hit them right where they are.
Going back to that averages thing, I didn't always tell the full story. That's a good hit. Made good contact, just couldn't fall. And
Yep,
some
that's
good
exactly
fielding
it.
from Raphael Jackson. And now coming to the plate, number 20, Carter Beck. Here's the pitch. That'll be a strike. Carter Beck playing center field. Lots of good hitters in this league play outfield. Jackson Searing, Carter Beck.
Yeah, generally one of those positions, much like a corner infield. Generally speaking, you have good power hitters there.
Foul hit for there from Beck. Count is 0-2. Of course, Searing is still injured right now, being replaced by Matt Lansone. So the Red Sox staff and fans are hoping that's not anything serious. And here's the pitch from Page. That'll be hit off the ground. Page will catch it himself. He'll throw it to first, and that'll go right by Jalen Seward, and there'll be a run scored. Looked like an error to me.
Yeah, tough play. Carter Beck can run a little bit, so you kind of put pressure on the infield there, and Aiden Page. In the end, maybe scored a base hit. It will be an error.
They will put an error on the scoreboard as a runner gets through on the error. So now the score is 7-2 here, and the Bears are kind of running away with this one. Here's the pitch. Check to second on the steal. Won't be there in time, and then they'll throw it back to first or home plate, and it will not be there in time, and they'll get another run across. It's 8-2 for the Berries. Now the Berries have quadrupled the score of the Regina Red Sox. This is not looking good so far for the Sox in this inning. Looking great for the Berries, though. They're extending their lead.
It kind of goes back to your point a little bit about being able to score in bunches for Saskatoon.
Had 2 innings on the board, 2 runs on the board this inning for the Berries. Scoring in clumps, that's what we talked about. And Beck is in scoring position, as this is Ethan Menard at the plate with a 2-0 count. And here is the pitch from Page. That'll be way high. It's 3-0 count now. So as the Red Sox, what do you do here to try and get yourselves off the field?
Well, it kind of remains the same what I said last inning as well, is you want to stop the bleeding, right? So you found yourself in a situation that you don't really want to be in, but you can't allow it to snowball and get worse. You need to give yourself as good of a chance as possible to get back in this game, and that starts with getting this next out and ensuring that another run does not score.
And the Bears are looking to pile it on here. As the first strike is thrown by Aiden Page, here's the second ball. And that will be a walk. So the Berries with Beck and Menard on base. And now here comes Medina.
He's reached base, I believe you said 3 times already tonight?
Yeah. He's come up 3 times. He's made it on base 3 times. So if you're the Saskatoon Bears, you're kind of breathing easy right now.
Yeah, this is certainly one of the guys in your lineup that you want up.
Here's the pitch. There's a strike to start things off. I think the majority of those times Medina either walked or was hit by a pitch. Only had the one hit into right field at the start of the game.
Yeah, been kind of one of those quietly productive nights for Medina.
The pitch from Page. Big swing and a miss. 0-2 count. Medina readjusts his gloves. And we'll step back into the box. And Aiden Page is looking to close this inning out with an 0-2 count on the board. And here's the pitch. Foul chop towards the Sox dugout. Count remains 0-2. Here's the pitch. We hit to the shortstop. Matthew Fox catches it in the air. What a great play, Matthew Fox, to field that one.
Yeah, that's
Athletic
a big play. For the Sox and by Fox himself to ensure that it stays an A2 ball game.
We will take a break here at Curry Field. Can't drink, but I'm 16. A drink though would be nice. Just a drink, not coffee. I don't like coffee. And yeah, you're right. Sure, yeah. Thank you.
Sox rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Ready in 3, 2, 1, let me hear you.
Me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for the Red Sox. If they don't win, it's a shame. It's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Well done, Curry Field. Very nice, very nice. And I do want to take this opportunity to remind you one more time. Stick around after the game if the kids want to run the bases with Splatter. That's your prime opportunity.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Curry Field. As I just sung the 7th inning stretch, a bit of a jack of all trades. I want to toot my own horn, but the Berries are piling on with their lead. It's now 8-2 for Saskatoon. At the top of the 7th, and we should move to the bottom of the 7th. And now at the plate, Samard. That first pitch will be a ball. 1-0 count. 5'8", 180 is Justin Samard. Double righty, throws right, bats right. 2-0 count. From Ladera Ranch, California. A junior at the University of Missouri St. Louis. Here's the pitch. That'll be a big swing and a miss there from Samard. 2-1 count. And now here's the pitch. That'll be outside for ball number 3. Again, the side-arming pitching style from number 37, Dallin Rude. Here's a pitch.
I'll go right down the middle. Nice little curve on that ball. 3-2. And here's the pitch from Rude. Fouled off by Samar to keep himself alive. And after Samar, it'll be Fox. Followed by Justin Tucker, who had that leadoff home run that we were raving about. Now here's the pitch from Rude. And that'll go past Samard for a ball. We have a walk to start things off, and now here comes Matthew Fox with his signature bat to the bone walk-up music. And here he comes to the plate. In his second consecutive season with the Red Sox. A lockdown at the shortstop position. Here's the pitch from Rude. That'll be ball one. Just missing the zone there. Again, Rude having some nice horizontal curve on these balls he's throwing. It's impressive. I couldn't do that. Here's the pitch. That'll be a nice hit from Fox, putting it in the gap. A nice little single there from Fox to get 2 men on base. And just like that, 2 men on base here for the Sox. Now here comes Justin Tucker, who we know can hit home runs. I'm not sure how well he'll fare against the pitching style of Dallin Rude. A little meeting at the mound. Making substitution. Thank you. Does not look like it. Just maybe a little conversation here. Maybe just reminding him of the situation as there's 2 men on.
Yeah, I'd probably just kind of slowing the game down a little bit, making sure it doesn't get sped up.
Dallin Rude, righty, 6'1", 170 from Munster, as we were talking about Munster, Saskatchewan. Also Saskatchewan products on the Saskatoon Berries. Very local team. Here's a pitch from Rude. That'll be hit from Tucker. There's one out. He'll have to get it on the side. That's a double play for the Saskatoon Berries. As it goes 6-3, or 5-3 across the bases. And there's 2 outs on the board. Now here comes Jaden Kalura. And just when it looked like the Sox were about to get right back into it, gets snuffed out by double play.
Yeah, obviously not the outcome you're looking for. But I mean, that happens in baseball. It's a difficult sport for a reason.
Here's the ball. That'll be strike called. Matthew Fox at second still. There's another little talk at the mound.
I think they got crossed up a little bit. It's a called strike, but it kind of clanked off the catcher.
Well, Rude is throwing some bendy balls there at the mound. And now Kalura will step into the box. 1-0 is the count. Here's the pitch. That'll be way inside. Kalura has to move out of the way. And that'll be ball number 2 on the board. Or excuse me, ball number 1, then strike number 1. Here's the pitch. And there's another strike to move the count to 1-2. And a ball escapes from the Red Sox bullpen. And Matt Melanson goes to pick it up, throws it back to his pitching staff. And we continue.
We kind of talked about it earlier with the arm side run there from Rude, but now you can see to a left-handed hitter when he starts it inside, and it kind of backs up onto the plate. So out of the hand, as a left-handed hitter, he'll feel like it's inside, and it'll kind of back up onto the plate.
Some elusive curveballs being thrown from the side armor down Rude, and there's a foul ball hit. 2-2 count remains with 2 outs. All 2s across the board. There's another ball that escapes from the Red Sox bullpen. And time is called. And Melanson will throw another ball back to his pitching staff. And now we will continue. And here is the pitch. This will be chopped. Could fall fair here. That's a catch. Diving catch to end the inning from Jalen Freeman. That's just impressive. What a catch.
Yeah, it's a great play. Sometimes you tip your cap. You know, the other team is full of collegiate athletes as well. Freeman certainly showed why he plays college baseball there. It's a heck of a catch.
We'll take a break after that beautiful catch by Freeman going to the top of the 8th.
Fans, it's time to get out your 50/50 tickets. If you purchase one of those 50/50s tonight, now is the time to grab them. You could be tonight's lucky winner of $910. That is the ticket.
$900?
Okay, now for the winning ticket number.
Take that as a baseball game.
SB 102151. Congratulations for going home with $910. I'm going to repeat that winning ticket number just one more time. SXB 102151. Congratulations, if that's your ticket, you're taking home to $910, and if you have that winning ticket, please visit the ticket shack before the end of the game to claim your prize. Thank you to everyone who supported the 50/50 tonight, powered by PlayNow.com, Sega's online sportsbook and casino. One final reminder here to make sure that you stick around after the game.
You still look young enough to play. Why don't we get you in a uniform?
I honestly haven't seen a live pitch since 2012.
Yeah?
It's the last time I've put on a uniform and cleats and swung a bat, not for fun, and like out of games. I would probably get absolutely blown apart by 80 miles an hour now.
Welcome back to Curry Field. We have another substitution on the mound for the Regina Red Sox. No longer is Aiden Page pitching. Rather, we have number 29.
Should be Xander Odie Sanger.
Xander Odie Sanger, yes. 28 is who on the mound. Odie Sanger, of course, from Regina, Saskatchewan. Local kid. Plays at Okanagan College.
I've been with the program here in Regina for 4 years now. A studious veteran.
Batting for the Mariners, number 34, Ethan Murdoch.
Now, Ethan Murdoch coming to the plate to face Odie Sanger. Odie Sanger, of course, very good pitcher. Here's the pitch. Be outside for ball 1. Odie Sanger, a bit of a household favorite here in Curry Field. Of course, the local kid. And here's the pitch. That'll be low and in the dirt for ball 2.
Field is a smoke-free facility. If you want quote-unquote fresh air, please head up to the parking lot.
Here is the pitch from Odie Sanger. That'll be a strike. I think the count will move to 2-1 here
in Regina.
Ethan Murdoch facing Xander Udisanger. Here's the pitch. And there's the hit to shortstop. Easy play from Matthew Fox. He'll throw it over to first base. And there's the first out of the inning.
And when Odie's at his best, he's going to get actions on both sides of the plate, enforce contact, allow his defense to work for him.
Yeah, Udisanger, very, very good pitcher. Here's the pitch. That'll be hit into left field. Fieldable, and it'll drop in front of Jackson. Just could not get there in time. That'll be a single there for Houston. Nathan Houston, of course, from Melville, Saskatchewan. Puts it Louisiana Tech. And now coming to the plate is Balin Sorensen. And he's had a good night.
Yeah, we've talked about him a few times, but he's had 2 or 3 really good at-bats for Saskatoon.
Well, there's the pitch from Udisanger. It doesn't get home. It'll be ball 1. Houston leading off first. Here's a pitch from Udisanger. Houston is going. And this will be a fair ball. And Houston will get home on this double hit down the line. Jerkovich calls fair ball. Hit some chalk on the way through. And we compare that hit to the one that was close out there in right field. There's similar plays, both similar areas in the stripe. And they call that one fair, and they call the other one foul. So maybe not too happy would be the Red Sox staff, but not much you can do about it except get ejected. And now the score is 9-2.
Yeah, and the old adage, game of inches, right? 1 inch to the left, 1 inch to the right. Ball games may be a little different for you. But, a week from now, that kicks up chalk for you and goes foul for the team you're playing against. Baseball is a way of evening itself out.
Game of inches. Here's the pitch from Udisanger. That'll be a strike. It opens the count to 1-1 with 1 out on the board. Udisanger checks second. Here's the pitch. That'll be another strike. And this is Corey Wouters, the hybrid first baseman and pitcher from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Udisanger on the mound, checks second. Nothing there. Here's the pitch. That'll be hit between the shortstop and the second baseman through the center field gap, and this will be picked up by the center fielder, thrown back to the first baseman. Not in time, anywhere close. And the Berries will put up 10 runs tonight on the Regina Red Sox. And this game's getting away from Regina. And now 24, Roel coming in. And Wouters advances to first on that previous play. Here's a pitch from Udisanger. It's in the dirt. 1-0 count to start things off. It's getting quiet here at Curry Field. Here's the pitch from Udisanger. And that'll be a strike. Here's the pitch from Udisanger. That'll go foul. Nearly over the netting.
Yeah, Saskatoon's been able to put pressure on Regina's bullpen once Anderson had left the game. And credit to Saskatoon. You know, they got into the bullpen, kind of what we talked about at the beginning of this game, and were able to put runs across.
Here's the pitch. That'll be hit foul on the right side. Into the crowd. And the count is 1-2. We have some players getting warm in both bullpens. And here is the pitch from Odie Sanger. That'll be hit. Should be double play here. It's not in time at first, but it will be an out at second. As Roel is able to make it on base.
And now Jalen Freeman, who just made the diving catch out in left field,
Comes to the plate. Able to extend this inning a bit. But the Berries are down 2 outs. They have scored 2 runs this inning. Here's a pitch. Big swing and a miss there from Freeman. Count is 0-1. Odie Sanger gets set. Here's the pitch. Freeman hits that hard foul. Count is 0-2. Roel still at first. He's leading off. Odie Sanger gets set. Here's the pitch. And that'll be a pass ball. It'll get by Brady Bye. And Roel will take the easy steal. And it's now a 1-2 count. As it's looking more and more likely like the Saskatoon Bears will improve to 18-3. And will be, from next game's perspective, 10-0 in their last 10.
Yeah, they're starting to pull away.
Big swing and a miss from Freeman, and that will end the 8th inning. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
From the inning, brought to you by Western Linville. Give them a call 306-525-8796 for all your printing needs. 306-525-8796.
We're stuck in the outfield camera, I think. Someone's complaining that we're stuck in the outfield camera.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house. The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure.
Leave it for like this for now.
Welcome back to Curry Field. Leading off for the Regina Red Sox in the bottom of the 8th is number 3, Matt Melancone, who of course came in for the injured Jackson Searing.
And here's the pitch. New pitcher here. It's number 17, Adam Beeman from Saskatoon. Local product from Central Arizona College. He's a freshman there.
But like this the rest of the game. We'll figure it out when Connor comes back.
Here's the pitch from Beeman. And that'll be low and in the dirt for ball one.
And so the biggest thing if you're Regina here is you don't need all 8 all at once. You just have to find a way to scratch a few across, extend innings, put together quality at bats.
That'll be another ball in the dirt. Here's the pitch. Melanson will foul that one off behind himself. And he'll find himself in a 2-2 count here. And here's the pitch from Beeman. Melanson will foul this one off too. Two and two count, no outs. Here's the pitch. This will be hit by Melanson. This will be his first hit of the day. And that'll fall in between. And Melanson clears the way here for number 44, Jalen Seward, to come to the plate. And Melanson records his first hit of the evening. Seward, the first baseman tonight. 6'5", 225. And here's the pitch. That'll be fouled off for strike one. A sophomore at Salt Lake Community College is Seward. And Beeman will throw the pitch. Here it is. And that'll be a ball. So ball one, strike one, even count. Beeman stares at the plate. Here's the pitch. Solid contact, but it'll be a foul ball. 1-2 count here. Pitch from Beeman. Foul off again. Seward staying alive.
At the plate is number 44, the first baseman, Jalen Seward.
It's getting to be cooler here in Regina. Probably around 10 degrees. And here's the pitch. I'll be outside for ball number 2. Count is even 2-2.
It kind of paints a stark contrast. We were talking about how great the weather was at opening pitch, and now there's people in blankets behind home plate.
Yeah, it changes quick up here.
So it perfectly encapsulates weather in Saskatchewan in June.
Oh my, yeah, it's something. Here's the throw to first. Some chirping inside the ballpark from the junior Red Sox, and now here's the pitch. This will go
Hit the knob of the bat, I think.
off of Seward. I think it's enough of the knob of the bat. Yeah, it's not too hard to be part of Seward, so.
You didn't really react in any pain or anything like that.
No, so that'll just be at the knob of the bat, and we'll get back in here. And here's the pitch from Beeman. That'll be high. Ball number 3. The throw from Beeman is hit by Seward. Thrown to first, that'll be an out, but Melanson will advance.
It's not working, no. This is how you get it on.
Okay.
One to close, it disappears. That's the overlay. It's not working.
Well, it's because you closed it. It's not open.
I don't think that needs to be open. Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, that's what
Riley Bender stepping into the box here. Hoping to bring Melanson home. He's in the scoring position. And here's the pitch from Beeman. Swing and a miss. Some contact on the ball, but not enough to get anywhere. And it'll be 0-1. Bender fouls this one off to his pitching coach. He makes a nice little grab and throws it back to the pitcher. And Beeman will step back on the mound. Melanson still sneaking his way off that base at second. Beeman checks it again. Here's the pitch. It'll be outside for ball number 1.
Yeah, one of those 0-2 extend the zone. See if you can get the hitter to move his feet. And then replace the next pitch right on that same track as a slider, or try and freeze him in.
Here's the pitch. Fouled off behind the plate. Count remains 1-2. So 10-2 remains the score here in Regina. Pitch from Beeman. Hit high by Bender. This is fieldable. It is caught by number 31, Medina. And we have 2 outs. And now Brady Bye walks up to the plate to the tune of Homecoming by Kanye West. And he'll look to get some points on the board here for Regina as they look to not have a complete blowout here against them.
Yeah, even just scratching one across here and give you a little bit of a jolt, a boost going into the bottom of 9.
Yeah, some confidence. Count is 1-0 right now. 1 ball, 0 strikes, 2 outs. Here's a pitch. That'll be inside, but still a strike. So 1-1 is the count. And Melanson remains at second. Here's the pitch. Chopped here by Brady Bye. This could fall, but it will not. It'll be a fielded well by the right fielder who runs underneath it, pulls it down, and now we're moving to the top of the 9th. We'll be right back after this break.
We find it from our friends at SGF. Go to the site so that please stay safe at home. So if you at home, call first choice designated drivers at 306-535-9394. New pitcher,
Colton Bank, yes. Welcome back to beautiful Curry Field as we have a pitching change for the Regina Red Sox. In is Colton Bank, the lefty, 5'10", 165. Local kid, Regina, Saskatchewan is his hometown. Bats left, throws left. A freshman at Valley City University. And now here comes number 20, Carter Beck. Pretty big test here to start things off for Colton Bank.
Yeah, good opening matchup for Bank. Good measuring stick.
We haven't seen a whole lot of Bank here at Curry Field this year.
Now, the Red Sox, by and large, have done a pretty good job limiting Beck's damage tonight. And so if at the start of the game you would have said that, you probably would have thought that Regina would be in a pretty good spot. But it's a testament to the rest of Saskatoon's lineup.
You got the All-Star not having his biggest night tonight. But he managed to ice the game here. On top of the ninth, here's the pitch. Check swing. Did not swing. That'll be ball number 1. And here's a pitch from Bank. That one's also a strike. That one is the first strike, excuse me. Just catches the zone as it goes by. It fell outside to by, but the count is 1-1 for Carter Beck. And here's the pitch. This will be hit hard by Beck, but it'll be fielded even better by Jalen Seward. Able to catch that right out of the air. Probably hurt a lot. He grabs it. Easy out. And the Red Sox are trying to move through this inning quickly to try and get some points on the board. In the bottom of the ninth to try and come back from this 10-2 deficit. 8-point separation between these two teams. Here's the pitch.
Had a nice little start to the inning for Colton Bank. Get your leadoff guy.
Some lefty on righty action here. 1-0 is the count after the first ball thrown by Bank. And here's the pitch. That one is also in the dirt. This is Ethan Menard at the plate, number 33. The DH. And here's the pitch from Bank. So he hit high. It's a foul ball. It's not playable. It's a little too far outside. 2-1 count now after the huge foul ball there. Pitch from Bank. That'll be a strike. 2-2 count here. 1 out still after the great catch there by Seward.
fouled back behind the plate. Count remains 2-2.
The biggest thing here, if you're the coaching staff in Regina, you like the fact that Colton's filling the zone right now.
Yeah, good for him to show what he can do. Here's the pitch. That'll be hit high. It's playable. And Menard's hit will fall to the center fielder. And Jordan Tucker. And 2 outs right away here. 2 up, 2 down to start things off. And then here comes Mr. On Base, it seems, tonight for the Saskatoon Berries, Medina. I'll be on Medina. Here's the pitch from Bank. It'll be a ball. I'm not sure exactly what PR stands for, but he's from Ponce.
I believe that's Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. There we go. Ponce, Puerto Rico.
Be my guess at least.
And plays at Texas A&M International. Here's the pitch. Be hit hard to Seward again. It'll pick this one up and a walk to first. So a couple of good plays there that inning from Seward. Now the Sox get a chance to go on offense to see what they can do with an 8-point deficit. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. We'll be back.
Now pitching for the Saskatoon Berries, number 7, Terrence Ditch.
Play these for 3 outs here. Then you just hit 4 is quick play. 1 is balls, 4 is quick play. I don't want to screw around. Yeah, I just got an email. Brian literally walked me through how to load those commercials at 5:30. Thank you for letting me know. I just want to kind of learn here.
We're learning together, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, shit.
First up in the ninth, we go to the Regina Red Sox, number 20, outfielder, Raphael Jackson.
Welcome back to Courier Field. We are in the bottom of the ninth here, as the Regina Red Sox look to put 8 runs on the board to tie and 9 runs to win in the bottom of the ninth. A new pitcher here for the Saskatoon Bears, number 7, Turner Zdunich. Left-hand pitcher, 6'2", 190, also plays outfield. Bats left, throws left. From High River, Alberta, a freshman at Colby Community College. And the first batter he will be facing is number 20, Raphael Jackson. Jackson, the speedster for the Red Sox this year. And he'll get set in the box. And here comes the first throw from Zdunich. Here it is. And that'll be a ball to lead things off. And here's the pitch again from Zdunich. And then I'll be outside. No, it'll be a strike. He caught the corner.
Biggest thing for Regina right now is you're just trying to extend the inning as long as possible and see where it can take you.
Just hoping to salvage something here is Regina. This one.
You just want to make them work for it, right?
Exactly. Zdunich goes back to the mound. He'll get set. And he'll throw his next pitch right away. Here it is. That'll be a high ball over the head of Jackson. And we are at a 3-1 count here. Jackson gets set. Zdunich gets set. Here's the pitch. Foul ball, 3-2 count. Full count here for Jackson.
Zdanic or is it Zdunik?
Oh, got him.
That'll hit Jackson. And he will go to first base.
Zadunic?
Yeah.
We'll go with the phonetic pronunciation.
Zdunik. Whatever's easiest.
Well, I mean, it's his name, so we should try and say it right.
We should try and say it right.
But we were not given a phonetic pronunciation for it, so we apologize if it's not pronounced correctly. I'm sure his family's listening.
We are sorry to the Zduniks. Ball one for Zdunik. Check first. He'll throw again. This will be a foul ball. Count moves to 1-1. And this is Justin Samard at the plate. The American from Ladera Ranch, California. As he'll get set again. And here's the pitch. That's a strike. 1-2 is the count.
Smart is 1 for 2 on the night with the walk. Looking to extend this inning for the Red Sox.
Here's a pitch from Zdunik. This will be hit again. Foul. Pretty much the exact same spot that the other ball was hit as well. Count remains 1-2. Zdunik, here's the throw. And this will be hit. This could fall in the gap in between the center field and left base, or the left fielder. And this will fall. And Jackson will get all the way around. This might be a triple here. A triple hit from Samard. After he puts it in between the gap between the left and center fielder. Brings home the speedster, Raphael Jackson. And there's the first run on the board for the Red Sox since the second inning. It's now 10-3 here at Curry Field. Now Matthew Fox comes up to the plate with a runner in scoring position.
And that's exactly the start that you want if you're a Red Sox fan.
A ball early to Zdunik. And Fox gets set, as does Zdunik. Here's the pitch. And that'll be a strike. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. That'll be fouled. 1-2 is the count. Thank you for this popcorn.
Oh, no.
Zdunik stares down the plate. Here's the pitch. Hit high by Fox. This will stay inside the netting. This will be fielded by the catcher. And there's the first out of the inning. Went away here for the Sox. As Fox's pop fly does not get enough to go over the netting, and it'll be fielded by the catcher. But Jordan Tucker comes to the plate again with a runner in scoring position. And we saw what he can do earlier in the night with the home run he had, the only home run of the game. Hit over the left field boards. Here's the pitch. That'll be inside for ball number 1.
Tucker's 2 for 4 on the night. Home run in the single in his first 2 at-bats. He's flown out and grounded into double play.
Here's the pitch. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. One's across the board. Also 1 run in this inning for the Sox.
Here's the pitch from Zdenek. This will be hit by Tucker. It'll be fielded at first base. A sacrifice hit there as he gets a run across. It scores 10-4. Not sure you want to do sacrifice balls right now, though, with the circumstances that we're in with the Red Sox. 2 outs here as Jaden Kalura comes to the plate. The catcher, 5'9", 192 from Hammond, Louisiana, a senior at Nicholls State. Here's the pitch from Zdenek. So he fouled behind the plate. He'll hit the netting. 0-1 count to start things off. Here's a pitch, and that'll be a ball. 1-1 count, 2 outs. Matt Melanson on deck for the Sox.
Yeah, so now the Red Sox are trying to do basically the same thing that start the inning. Just find a way to get on base and extend.
Foul ball from Kalura. They are 1 strike away from losing this game. And Saskatoon's just trying to close this one out right now. Here's the pitch. We popped high in the air. This will probably be the ball game. And that will do it here at Curry Field. The Berries will win 10-4. A dominant performance here in Regina. Mitch, final thoughts?
Yeah, you kind of have to tip your hat to Saskatoon. They were able to get in the bullpen and then find ways to score against the bullpen. They're 2-0 against Regina now, but the rest of the week, there's a few more matchups between the two teams. Ultimately in the end, Saskatoon wins tonight, and if you're a Regina fan, you're hoping that they find a way to split the season series thus far by the end of this week.
Well, thank you for tuning in to FloCollege tonight. We apologize for the technical difficulties tonight, but we appreciate you spending your time with us and watching some great baseball here at the WCBL. I'm Bruce Murray Olson, and for my friend Mitch McDonald, I'm signing off from Curry Field. Good night.
That's all you do, eh?
No, I am driving. Okay. Got it.
So you go.
Pleasure? Did you get time?
We'll see.
That's it. And it'll time out, or you can hit 1 to close it. 4 to quick play.
Cool.
Alright, well, sweet. Night your tickets. And then this one is storage vaults.
Alright.
I want to see what this access storage.
Yeah, you can take it.
And then you have to open up that other window to play the cloud ones for flow. These are our 3 league ones. Actually, it's just 4 on, 4 off. Figured something out today.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to
Yeah,
webcast.
anytime.
It's,
You're,
good stuff. It's fun.
okay.
Well, I'll see you soon then.
Yeah, you bet. Take care.
See you guys.